My mom trained me to be a parent at 7, then got furious when I refused to keep doing it for free as an adult. By the time I was 7, my mom had already decided who I was going to be. I wasn't the fun kid. I wasn't the needy one. I was the responsible one, the dependable one, the one who didn't really get to be a kid because kids make messes and need things, and I was supposed to handle those things. That same year, my sister Blythe was born. Everyone told my mom how lucky she was to have an older daughter who was such a big help. What they didn't see was that help wasn't optional. It was assigned. If mom was tired, I fed the baby. If she was busy, I changed diapers. If the baby cried at night, I got up because mom needed sleep. I learned how to warm bottles before I learned how to set boundaries. By 10, I wasn't just helping. I was basically raising a toddler. I was juggling my own homework while making sure Blythe ate breakfast, had her shoes on the right feet, and remembered her permission slips. Blythe never learned how to do anything for herself because I always stepped in first. Not because I wanted to, but because if I didn't, no one would. As we got older, the responsibilities just shifted shape. Once I had a license, I became the chauffeur. I covered for Blythe when she lied. I smoothed over fights so mom wouldn't spiral. I became the emotional shock absorber for the entire household, and my mom loved it. She didn't call it parentification. She called it family. She told people how proud she was of me, then made sure I stayed locked into the role that earned her praise. Being useful was the only way I felt valued. When I left for college at 18, she cried like I was moving to another planet. How am I supposed to do this without you? She asked, like Blythe wasn't 11 and fully capable of learning basic life skills. When I pointed that out, mom laughed like I'd made a joke. That first semester, she called constantly, 3 times a week, sometimes more. I'd be sitting in my dorm with a chemistry textbook open, walking her through things I'd done on autopilot for years. How to pack a lunch, how to handle a tantrum, how to get Blythe to do homework without bribing her. Even though I'd left, my brain was still trapped in that house. After graduation, I got a job 2 hours away in a real city with real opportunities. Mom said I was abandoning the family. I moved anyway because I knew I wouldn't survive another decade of being the built-in adult. And for 5 years, I finally had something that was mine. I climbed the ladder at a marketing firm. I got promoted. I bought a small condo. I made friends who liked me for who I was, not for what I fixed. I dated a guy named Dante who treated me like an equal, not an unpaid assistant. I learned what peace felt like, the kind where you wake up on a Saturday and your first thought isn't who needs me. Then mom called. I'm sick, not dying, she said, but sick enough that she couldn't work full time anymore. She needed help, appointments, medications, groceries, the house, support, a caregiver. And Blythe, now 23, was exactly what my childhood had trained her to be, useless. She still lived at home rent-free, slept until noon, went out every night, never held a job longer than a few months, didn't cook, didn't clean, didn't plan anything. When mom got sick, Blythe didn't step up. She complained about how stressful it was for her, how hard it was to watch mom be unwell. Mom asked me to move back home. I said no. I told her I had a job, a life, and responsibilities. I told her Blythe was an adult and needed to grow up. I told her I'd already spent my childhood as a caretaker and I wasn't doing it again. Mom cried, called me selfish, said this was different because she was actually sick, said Blythe couldn't handle pressure like that. I asked whose fault that was. She hung up. Then the guilt campaign started. Calls, voicemails, texts, relatives suddenly checking in, aunts and uncles telling me I was horrible, cousins warning me I'd regret it when mom was gone. It felt like being 12 again, praised when I gave, punished when I didn't. So I compromised. I said I'd come every other weekend. I'd manage appointments and meds remotely. I'd help, but from a distance. Blythe had to contribute. Mom agreed. Blythe didn't. Every visit, the house was worse. Trash overflowing, dishes cemented to the sink, laundry piles like monuments, unopened mail stacked everywhere. Blythe was either out or resting. Mom always had an excuse. Blythe was sensitive, overwhelmed, not built for responsibility. Meanwhile, I was working full-time, driving 4 hours round trip, cleaning like I'd never left. I did that for 8 months. 8 months before something inside me finally snapped. Click full story to see what happens next.